First, we pay homage to the lineage gurus. Homage to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming. Homage to Master Sakya Zhenkong. Homage to the 16 Dharma King, His Eminence Kamaba. And homage to Master Tupten Darji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of Homa, Padma Kumara. Sumu, all Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, temple directors, all fellow disciples present here and over the webcast.
今天我们的贵宾，台湾省政府秘书长郑培福先生。
And our guest of honors today from Taiwan government, the Chief Secretary, Mr. and Mrs. Cheng.
中央研究院院士朱旭
And
教授
from Taiwan Academia Sinica, Professor Zhu and Mrs. Zhu.
国立台湾科技大学企管系教授。
From the National Taiwan Science and Technology University, the Professor of Business Administration, Professor Lin. And from Pingtung, the Daren Science and Technology University, the Assistant Professor Ye. And also Doctor of Education. And from the Tainan City DPP Party, the chief member, also Councilman Chai, and a senior in His Holiness class, also the president of the Chinese American Chamber of Commerce of Philadelphia, USA, Mr. Zhang. And from the survey engineering, the class 32, Mr. and Mrs. Zhu. Attorneys to Trupura Foundation, Mr. Loy, Mrs. Huang. President of the Lotus Light Charitable Society, Mr. Wu. And from Kaohsiung City, the representative of the KMT Party, and producer for CTI TV for the TV program Illuminating Your Heart, Ms. Rebecca Su. Producers for the TV programs Platform Sutra and the Development Stages of Tantrayana, Master Lian Yue, and the host, Dharma Sister Pei Jun. We also have many distinguished guests from faraway places, from Seattle. She went back to mainland China and passing by here. Master Lian Yin. No, Master Lian Yin went to propagate Buddha Dharma to Europe, to England. Did you go back to mainland China? Last time. And then came back. And then also Dharma brother Qi Zong and his mother. And also Dharma sister Zhao Jiaming from Seattle and her family.
另外还有很多的这个
and many more.
小李医师有来吗？
Is Dr. Lee here?
站在那里。
The young Dr. Lee is standing there.
也给你介绍一下李嘉玲医师。
Let me introduce
台
you,
中荣总
Dr. Lee Jialin
医师
from the Taichung Longzhong, the Veteran Army University, medical doctor,
他
medical
也是个主任吧，也是
hospital.
博士是吗？
He is director there
中医、西医他都会。
and also a doctor,
碰到
the
小姐他就给
PhD,
他绑脉。
and he is well versed in both
应该给他
Chinese
多
and
介
Western
绍一下
medicine.
很多小姐认识他，因为他是
Whenever he sees a lady, he would check
他
her
现在是单
pulses.
身贵族。
He is single, so I'd like to introduce him,
我
and
们有很多
maybe
的这个贵宾
girls would be interested.
那个
And we have many
他们
guests of
并不
honors
并不去登记的，
that don't register
默默
themselves.
的坐在这个群众里面。
They just sit among all of us here.
应该你们这个应该也要登记一下，让我们贵宾的人数在这
But
个
you should register
增加
yourself so
我们
that we can
台湾雷藏寺
increase
的
the
广场。
list of our VIPs.
其实每一个人来的都是贵宾呐。
Actually, each participant is a guest of honor
因为只有尊贵的，他就会到台湾雷藏寺。
because only the precious ones would come to Taiwan Lei Tsang Temple.
这个一般尊贵的，有时来，有时没来。
The half precious ones sometimes come,
另外的
sometimes
我就不
don't.
要讲了。
And then the rest, no need to
另外
mention. Good afternoon, how do you do?
我们这个，我自从回来到现在
Ever since I came back till
每一
now,
次法会
at
都是
each
万人。
ceremony, it's
从来没有
attended by over tens of thousands of people.
一般的道场，他一年
For typical
好像
spiritual
有
center,
才有几次，这个
they
万人
only
一
have
起上山，万人一起
a。very few ceremonies a year that's attended by tens of thousands of people.
到台湾
But
雷
for
藏寺
us, every Saturday at this Taiwan Lei Tsang Temple, we have tens of
这个
thousands
是
of
非
people.
常殊胜难得的因缘。
So this is a very rare, precious, and supreme
也是
occasion.
莲花童子的因缘。
And also the causes and conditions of Padma Kumara.
一般修密法大家都喜欢大
Typically,
很大的
in practicing Tantrayana,
他
they
们就来
like to practice the
另外还有一个
great
就
practices.
是有财
They
神法
always
他们
come
就来灌顶。
to obtain the empowerment,
财神法
or
灌顶的特别
if
多，
there's wealth
还有
deity
另外大
ceremonies,
法
there would be lots of
他们
people coming.
也来灌顶。
Or the
至
great
于这
Dharma
个
practices, they all come for the
像释
empowerment.
迦行法、
But the
上师
four
相应法、
fundamental practices,
六迦
or
行
the
法
root guru practice,
这个
or the six
大家都认为
fundamental
这
or
是
preliminary
入
practices,
门的法，入
we
门
all regard them as
刚刚
the
入门
basics,
你们刚
or
刚入门
the
就修这个加行法，修
beginning
这个六加行当中就有一
practices.
个上师相应法。
Because whenever
大
you
家
just
哎呀这个小
entered
法
into the path, you
彼此
started
之间
from
问
the
来问去
fundamental
你修什么
practices.
法？我修十人金刚法。
And perhaps you ask each
Oh,
other,
yeah.
what kind of Dharma practice do you do? Oh,
你修
Kala
什么
Chakra.
法？
Wow, that's
你修
great.
上师相应
How
法
about you? I'm Root
啊
Guru Yoga.
你还没有修本
Ha.
尊呢。
You haven't even started your Yidam practice?
什么 potato chip？ 小法，
That's a
Just a little bit.
small Dharma.
他们不知道
But little did they
莲
know
花童子法
that the
上师
Padma
相应
Kumara practice and the Root Guru Yoga
是每一个法都要相伴的。
It's something that has to accompany any other Dharma practice, including the highest Dharma practice. Simply said, the origin of Padma Kumara, I have said before, that he is the Buddha of the 13th ground from both the Vajra Dhatu and Dharma Dhatu. So the main deity of both Dharma Dhatu and Vajra Dhatu mandalas. So the 13th ground, the Vairocana of the 13th ground. So his origin was Vairocana. So primarily, and the one that's together with Vairocana is Buddha Lokana. And the two eyes of Buddha Lokana are transformed into the Mahadabha lotus ponds. Amitabha is the main deity of Western Paradise, and Padma Kumara is the main deity of the Mahadabha lotus ponds. And his origin came from Vairocana Buddha, Buddha Lokana, Amitabha Buddha, Padma Kumara, Living Buddha Lian Sheng, Sheng-yen Lu. That's how the lineage goes. Last week, I have mentioned about the Root Guru Yoga. In order to practice the inner fire or tumo, first you have to gain spiritual response with the Root Guru in the Root Guru Yoga first. And you gain spiritual response with Dorje Pamu, Vajravarahi. So, with the spiritual response with the Root Guru, you can invoke, entice Vajravarahi to enter into your body. Only then inner fire can be generated. Don't think that the great completion Dharma practices, the highest practices of Anu Yoga, Ati Yoga, and Mahayoga, don't need spiritual response in the Root Guru Yoga. That's wrong. So in order to do the practice of great completion, you have to gain spiritual response with the Root Guru Yoga practice of Longchen-pa. So once you gain spiritual response with Longchen-pa and with the spiritual body of Longchen-pa, only then you would be able to start the practice of Dok-chen. Dok meaning stopping or cutting, and Chen meaning going beyond. One is practicing Zen or Chan, and the other one is to see the light. And by seeing the light, you entice or invoke all the lights to enter into your body, and then you transform your body to become the rainbow light. And that's the highest attainment of the Dok practice. But the key point here is in the spiritual response with the Root Guru Yoga practice with the spiritual body of Longchen-pa. So the Root Guru Yoga is amazing. Without Root Guru Yoga spiritual response, there would be no other attainments in your tantric practices. That's why the Root Guru Yoga practice is very important. Once you do the Root Guru Yoga, then you can invoke all the other deities, all the way above to Amitabha Buddha, Padma Kumara, and from Padma Kumara to invoke Amitabha Buddha, and from Amitabha Buddha to invoke Buddha Lokana, and from Buddha Lokana to invoke Vairocana Buddha. So they are all interrelated. This is the lineage. It's the lineage from the space, from the void. This is definitely needed. So the Root Guru Yoga is no small Dharma. It is a big Dharma. By gaining spiritual response with the root guru yoga, you will not have any problems gaining spiritual response with any deities.
这个都是互相关联的，大家想一想，互相
So
关联
these
的
are all
重要性。
interrelated. So ponder upon the importance of this interrelationship.
好，讲一个这个 joke。一个男士给医生打一个电话，说：“医生啊，我儿子得到猩红热。”
Let me share this joke.
猩红热
A
是会
man
传染的，很厉害的一个病。
Told to the doctor
这个
that
医生
I
就讲：“
got
我知道啊，昨
infectious
天我去看过他，
diseases.
把他隔离，别跟家人接
And
触
the
就
doctor
可以
said,
了。”
yeah, I know. I have put him on
这
quarantine
个
and
男
not
士就讲：“哎，
be
你
in
不知道
contact
啊，
with his family.
这个儿子他闻了女佣，
But
闻了这个那个女佣啊。”
his father said, but
这个
doctor,
医
you
生就
don't
想：
know
哦，
that this
太
my
不幸了，
son kissed a
这个女
female
佣啊，
maid,
她
a
也必
maid.
须要隔离。
And then the doctor said, oh no,
然
then
后
the
呢，
maid should be in
这个
quarantine.
男士就讲：“但
And then
我又
the
闻
man
了
said,
女佣，
but I also kissed
他
the
爸爸
maid.
也闻了女
The
佣，
dad also kissed the maid.
那就不好办了。
Oh
你也
no,
可能也被传染上了。”
then maybe you're also infected.
这个男士又讲：“是的，可后来我
And
又
then the
闻
man
了我的
said,
老婆。”
but then I kissed my
什么？
wife.
这个医生就叫
And
起来
then the doctor：“
那么我
exclaimed,
可能也被传染。”
oh no, then I may be infected too.
这个医生也被传染。
So even the doctor got infected.
我的意思是讲，
What
这个
I
就是
meant
关
by
联
telling
性
this joke is
关
there's
联
this
的
relations.
你上师相应法相应了，
So if you gain spiritual response with your root
你
guru,
莲花童子就相应了，
then you gain spiritual response with
莲
Padma
花童子
Kumara.
相应了，
Once you gain spiritual
阿弥
response with
陀
Padma
佛就相
Kumara,
应，
then you gain spiritual
阿弥陀
response with
佛相应，
Amitabha Buddha.
佛
Once you
眼
gain
佛门
spiritual
就相
response
应，
with Amitabha Buddha,
佛眼佛
then
母
you
相
have
应了，
spiritual response with Buddha Lokana.
大日如
Once
来
you
就
gain
相应。
spiritual response with Buddha Lokana, then you gain spiritual response with Vairocana Buddha.
莲花童子相应法，
So the Padma Kumara Root Guru Yoga
大日如来的相应
is the
法，
same as
13
the
你要成佛，
response
从
practice
莲
of
花童子
Vairocana
相应
Buddha,
法
the
你
Buddha
相
of the
应了
13th
一定
ground.
可以大日如来相应。
So once you gain spiritual response with Padma Kumara, you will definitely gain spiritual response with
我
Vairocana
刚刚
Buddha.
讲了这个笑话，
So the
其实
joke just
它就是
that I just told,
闻就是相应，
so kiss
你
is
相
like
应了
spiritual
它，相应了
response.
它，相应了它，相应到最
So
后医生就
response,
相应。
response, response, response. At the end, the doctor got response too.
这个道理是一样的，这个不是笑
So
话，
this is the same
这是
concept.
事实。
It's not a joke.
其实
It's a
朱
real
锡一
truth.
教授知道，
So Professor Zhu knew,
他知道宇宙之间每
and what
一
does he
个
know?
物理的现象，
He
每一
knows
个物理的现象，
that each physical
每一个化
phenomena
学的现象，
or chemical phenomena
全部都
of
是
the
串联起来。
universe, they're all interrelated
从太阳整个系，太阳
from
系
the
一直到地球，
the Milky Way, the
月球
solar system,
每一个
to the
互相关
earth
联的，
and all the
每一个球
planets,
都是
they're
互
all
相关联。
interrelated. Each of these planets are
没有一个
interrelated.
例外。
There is
只
no
要有一
exception.
点点例外，
If there is a small exception,
这个球跟球就会相撞。
then there would be
我也讲
collision
过一个例子，
between
很
the
简单的例子。
balls of the
我们
planets.
人身上的细胞都是
Let me
互
tell you
相
a
关
simple
联的。
example. Like all the cells inside our
你几个
body are
细胞
interrelated.
坏死，影响整个身体，
So
你就得 cancer。
if there are some damage to some of the cells, it would affect the whole body. Then you would get cancer. Once you get cancer, then your whole body is affected. That the cancer may be only a few cells being damaged. So all physical and chemical phenomena are all interlinked. The whole universe are interlinked. Your bodies are also interlinked. And between people, human being, all the causes, conditions, the karma, retributions, they are all interlinked. So as soon as you gain spiritual response in your root guru yoga, and with all the interlinks, then you would be able to gain fruition in the Buddhahood of the 13th ground. So the professor and Dr. Zhu of Academia Sinica knows that everything, physically, chemically, everything in the universe, inside our body, between people, they're all interlinked together. There is a master, Master Lian Xie, had passed away. And I was notified for me to guide her. So I said, okay, why don't you go in my place to Bardo deliver Master Lian Xie? And I wrote in my 235th book, which is the guest from outer space, that she's been guided to the Western paradise. It was all fine before. And with the damage of a few cells affecting a group of other cells, and then the damage of these other cells went all over, affecting the whole body. So that's why the Buddha said, life is impermanent. A few weeks ago, I saw her standing there. Now she's gone. She's passed away. And also Reverend Lian Sheng. I still remember when Fermi had the dinner, I blessed her then, and then she passed away not long after. So we have one less reverend. And recently another reverend passed away. And she's talented, has a smiling face. She can sing and play the piano. A good reverend. Of course, with reasons, not without reasons. She was all fine and well before, with the sunny disposition. And then she's gone. All of a sudden, she's gone. She's not a grain of sand. She's like a small pearl. And this pearl is supposed to shine. But before shining, I knew that she's a pearl. But before she shined her radiance, she's gone. So life is impermanent. No one can guarantee. Any of you listening to Dharma teaching here, nobody knows what will happen in the future. Now I'm sitting here giving Dharma teaching, but in the future, maybe there would be no one sitting here anymore. So life is very short. So being diligent in studying Buddhism and doing the cultivation, the practice is very important, extremely important. So we are all interlinked together. And Grandmaster cares for every single disciple. And the disciples too also care for Grandmaster. Thank you. There's another joke that's rather long, but they are all linked together. One time, John failed his mathematics class, and the teacher got angry and asked John, what is 1 plus 1? And John said, 3. And the teacher got angry. You should just go home and ask. So John asked his dad, so what is 1 plus 1? And the dad just lost in his card game, and he said, go away. Or just go find your mom. So he went to his mom and asked, what is 1 plus 1? And the mom is in a bad mood. She's cooking. And she said, oh, come, so shut up. And John took a note of that. And then John asked his brother, and the brother studying American history. And the brother said something like, President Lincoln of America. And then John asked his sister, and his sister was on a date. And she said, oh honey, come on, let's go, let's ignore this kid. And then on the second day, the teacher asked John again, what is 1 plus 1? And then John replied, go to your mom. And the teacher continued to ask, what is 1 plus 1? Oh, shut up. So who taught you this? Oh, President Lincoln of America. And the teacher almost lost his temper. And he should be punished there. And then he said, oh, honey, come on, let's go. So these are all linkage. Padma Kumara is a link and linked together with everyone in tantric practices from the 4 preliminary practices. You need to complete your fundamental practices diligently. And the Root Guru Yoga, you need to really put it into practice until you truly feel that the Root Guru is always by your side. Then that would be it. At that time, no matter what deity you want to practice, you first pray to the lineage Root Guru to radiate light to invoke the deity. Why? Because your lineage Root Guru has gained spiritual response with all the deities. So these are all the interrelations. So see, Padma Kumara has his look, and the mudra of holding the lotus, and mudra of teaching Dharma, and the mantra, very short, Om Guru Lien Sang Siddhi Hum. And I also like to tell you that the Two Buddha Sutra is also very important. There's someone who recited True Buddha Sutra only 7 times. Only 7 times. Immediately, he saw the lineage root guru in a transparent body in his home, and as tall as two floors. And he saw him with open eyes. He only recited True Buddha Sutra on the 7th time. The transparent body of Padma Kumara appeared himself in his house, all the way from the ground floor to the 2nd floor. And he could see him. He's as tall as two floors of building. And the body is transparent. Could I say his name? That was Lianhua Minlu. Is he here today? He's here. Please stand up. Only reciting 7 times of True Buddha Sutra. He saw lineage root guru with his open eyes. Lianhua Minlu. He is a very high adept. He is of high standard, good education, good career, has a noble background, and he's also very diligent in his practice, and he has many spiritual responses. There are many spiritual responses, and he saw the lineage root guru in transparent body, and he saw it very clearly, holding the monk bag, transparent body, holding the monk bag. So Grandmaster, as tall as the two floors, and holding the monk bag. So don't think of Grandmaster as short. Everyone likes to see. Like the son-in-law of President Ma. He's over 188 centimeters, tall and cool, tall and handsome. Like Grandmaster is short and stocky. No one said that I am tall and handsome. But Lianhua Minlu saw Grandmaster as tall as 2 floors of building. We should say Grandmaster is tall, and handsome. So with the look or appearance that has been seen by people, that has appeared, and with the mudra and a very short mantra. And I have said that by completing 8 million recitation of the mantra, you're guaranteed to be reborn in the Mahadabha lotus ponds. It's been a long time since I talked about True Buddha Sutra. But I like to tell you that True Buddha Sutra is very important. Why didn't I mention about it before? Because I don't want to compliment myself. But True Buddha Sutra is truly important. And the transparent body of Grandmaster is tall, and handsome. So Lianhua Minglu has seen it, right? So, isn't that so? Yes.
我告诉你哦，师母补充。
You know, Simu
他
added,
张开眼睛看着莲花童子，
he saw Padma Kumara with his open
都
eyes
没有散掉，
for over 10
十几分
minutes
钟以后才消失。
before the appearances appeared.
这个是非常真实的，而且世
So
尊常
that's
常
a
入梦。
real
这个
event,
70仙
real
梦，70
occurrence.
仙梦里面
And
写的全
Grandmaster
部都是师尊入梦，
often
入你的梦里。
enters into dreams, into your dreams,
很
in
多
the
的弟子，
book,
很多真佛中的弟子，
which is the divine
都曾经梦过
dreams
师
of
尊。
an 80-year-old sage. Book number 234.
而且是切切
233.
实实
A lot
都
of
有
two
感
Buddha
应。
disciples have dreamed of
有
Grandmaster,
感应了，
and they
就不会退
truly
到。
have lots of responses. And once one gains
所以莲花
responses,
明
then
路
they will not
它本
abandon
身
spiritual
有很多的感
cultivation.
应。
Lianhua
所以
Minglu had lots of
无论人家
responses.
再怎么样子
That's
毁谤，
why, no wonder,
他
doesn't
永远
matter how other people slander, he never abandoned his commitment to spiritual practice.
所以大家好好的，不要以为上师相应
So
法是什么
be good.
potato chip，
Don't think that
is
Rudguru
big
Yoga
Dharma。
is a small potato chip. It is a big Dharma.
这个老师非常的重要啊，
And a teacher is
让
very
老师
important.
欢喜，让
To
老
let the
师的
teacher
心
be
中欢喜，
happy,
他就会传这个口诀给你，
then he would teach you
传
the
这个口诀给你。
key formulas, the pith instructions to you.
莲花明路还有一个相应哦，是非
There's
常
another
好，
spiritual
从来
response by
很
Lianhua
少有
Minglu.
的。
It's a very
他
good
是这样，
and very rare one.
他修法，
He was doing his
然
tantra
后他看
practice,
见
and
一个
then
光啊，
he
在
saw
密你，一个圆琴像乒乓球的光在密你，
a ball of
然后
light,
他把这
like
个
a
光
ping pong ball,
用
at the
吸
secret
法
chakra.
吸法，
And then
把它
he
吸到身体里
he
面，
inhaled, he drew it into his
哎
body,
这个光啊，就
and
进
then this
入他的
light
中脉，
enter
在
into
他的
his
身
central
体里
channel,
面。
in his
虽然他
body,
快乐了
and he
24
experienced
个小时
bliss for 24
24小
hours,
时，大乐大乐，
great
一整
bliss
天的大乐。
for 24 hours, for the
是
whole
莲花
day.
明路，他看见了明体
That's
的光，
experienced by Lianhua Minglu.
像乒乓球
He
那么大，
saw
闪亮的光
a
在密
light,
你。
a very
那么莲
bright
花明路呢，它就
light,
是用提
like
法
a ping pong ball,
把它提起来，
at the secret
提进
chakra,
中脉里面。
and then he used the
居
lifting
然
practice to
那个
lift
光
into
在他
his
的身
central
体里面
channel,
闪耀，
and that
一直在闪
light
耀，一直在震动，一
was
直在闪耀，一直在
radiating
震动，
and was
使他身
shining
体
and
一
moving
直
inside the
快乐一
body,
整天。
and to make him be blissful for the whole day.
告诉你，这个就是真正的大乐。
I'd like to tell you, and
大
that
乐
this
让
is the
你
true great
一直
bliss,
延长下去，
that the great bliss would
而
extend,
且呢，一直很舒畅，觉得你全
and
身
we would
软
feel very
软
comfortable, relaxed,
软
warm,
绵绵的，
and
酥麻麻
soothing, and
这个
tingling.
一种没有办法形容的那种快乐，
It's
在你的身上，
it's beyond words,
你
the
真的
kinds of
正
bliss
验到
that's
这个，
beyond
就叫
words.
做正验到的大乐。
So if you
有了这
experience
个大
this,
乐，
then you have
你就
experienced
到
the
了
great
异界天。
bliss. And when you experience this, then you can go to the heavenly realm of
然
desire.
后呢，这个明点
And
继续
then
放光。
This light
明
drop
点，如果你全身
can
的明点
continue
继续
to
放光，
radiate
而且
light.
闪耀不停，
So if the light
你
drops
就
in
得
your
到
body can continue to radiate and
色
to
界天
pulse
的境界。
at all time, then you would reach the heavenly realm of form. So when it continues to radiate, that's the realm of form. And then you experience, you gain enlightenment theoretically, and not only that, you experience the empty nature, comprehend the empty nature through your body. Then you reach the heavenly realm of no form. And then you generate the mind of bodhicitta to help other sentient beings. Then you would become bodhisattva. So these are the steps in spiritual cultivation, one step, one level after another level. So the guru is very important, the teacher is very important, the Vajra Acharya is very important. So the teacher asks Xin, your problem is you use the wrong words. So now let me test you. Please use an idiom to describe that the teacher is very happy. You need to let your root guru, your teacher, your Dharma masters be happy. Then they will teach you the key points. And then since that the idiom is smiling, laughing in the underworld. So if you don't have attainment in your practice, then you would laugh in the underworld. But if you give you pleases your gurus, then the gurus would teach you the key formulas, the key points. And then there's something more mundane. I have a disciple that's studying at a university, and this disciple is quite good to Grandmaster. So he loves to wash my car, my earlier old car. So he would come by and get a pail of water and help Grandmaster wash his car. And then he told me, at my university, there was a Rinpoche that's teaching Tibetan language. And every time, because he knows that this is a Rinpoche teaching Tibetan language, so he went to ask about the tantric Dharma practices. But the Rinpoche kind of don't care much for him and just didn't say much. So this young man asked me, so what should I do then? So I taught him something secular or mundane. So you have to make an offering, maybe a bit thicker, not as thin as a piece of paper, just as if it's a bit more. So he made an offering, and then when the Rinpoche got it, there's a feeling about it. So what do you want to know? So he asked, and then he taught him a little bit, and then went to class. And then the second time, he made another offering, and he felt, oh, this is a bit more. So, what do you want? Oh, I want some tantric Dharma. And the Rinpoche taught him. So after a few times of offerings, the Rinpoche started to pay attention to him, because no one else had ever done that before. Most only make offering a little bit, It would be 2 Singaporean dollars or 2 Malaysian dollars or coins. But there is someone that always have a thick offering. So the Rinpoche accepted him as his disciple and declare him I'm not teaching you this. You don't need to make offering to Grandmaster. But whenever I see your look or your performance, like that Raflin that had gone, that she performed quite well. She's been the master of the ceremony. Her voice is nice and she's talented. She can play the piano and she likes to smile. She liked to smile. So of course I would notice her. But if you walk by and you had such an appearance, so you should smile to let Grandmaster. Then I would not laugh in hell. Why don't you laugh to please Grandmaster a little bit, right? What kind of look is that? Then I will not pay attention to you. So you should at least show something to Grandmaster, for Grandmaster to see. So this is important. So for the Guru to teach you the pith instruction, he has to have a strong impression of you. Otherwise, maybe my attendants would notice you. But it's not good to be too close, because then when Grandmaster emit fire, then it would burn them. Because Grandmaster is like fire. If you're too far, you don't see the light. If you're too close, you can get burned. You have to be at the right distance, not too far, not too close, but enough for Grandmaster to see how you do. Then Grandmaster, he would transmit the most important and the most real pith instructions to you. So this is very important. It's already 5:20. No. How long have I talked? 45 minutes. Oh no, Amitabha. But these are all key points. So, studying with your Guru, you have to show your the good sides, the strengths, to let him pay attention to you. Then he will teach you the true and real key formulas. You need to make offering of your your outstanding part. You need to perform to let all the Dharma masters see. Then they would tell Grandmaster who has performed well. This is the key point. But don't get too close to Grandmaster. Don't get too close to Grandmaster. Don't kiss. Because Grandmaster would be able to recognize that. That's not good.
这个不要表现的这个样子，不要表现的这个。总之你在某一方面很出色，大家都会注意到你的。你不是一粒沙，你是一粒珍珠。
So that you have to make Grandmaster notice that you're not just a grain of sand, but you're a pearl. This is important.
我讲一下喜金刚吧。
Let me talk a little bit about Hevajra.
第40章
Chapter 40.
第40章是接受现象，接受现象。
Phenomena of
有
sensations.
弟子问我，
There is a disciple asking me, Grandmaster Lu, in practicing qi channels and light
却不
drops,
知自己境界，
yet we do not know our own realm. What are the
出现
sensations?
何种现象？
What phenomena would appear?
修气脉明点是本尊相应以后，你再修。现在也
So
有
the
这样
qi channels and light drops practice, it should be done after you gain spiritual response with Yidam.
也有这样
But today there are also people who do them all together.
上师相应，你再来修气脉明点。
There's also another way, which is you gain spiritual response first with the root guru and the yidam, and then you do the inner
这
practices.
个也可以的。
But there's another method, which is acceptable if you do
这
them
个
all
问题是
together.
太广，我扼要的回答。
So my answer is that this question is too broad. It's too
一
broad.
般的方便气
So let me just get to the point.
转成智慧气，
If convenient
气在
qi
脉中行走，
is
身体
transformed
会
into
感觉
wisdom
会有
qi,
感觉。
and qi is moving in the central channel, our body will have sensations.
把这
So
个
Lianhua
灵气
Minglu
一吸进去
saw the
到身
light
体里面
body, and then he
进
drew
入
it
中脉，
into his
就
body,
等于
enter into the central channel.
光明进入中脉，
That's the same
等于
as the
气
light
在
entering
脉中
the
行走。
central channel. It's the same as the qi
这个
moving
时
in
候
the
就有
central
像
channel.
蚂蚁在
Then
你
at
的
this
中脉里
time,
面走，
there would be sensations of
但是
like
整个
ants
身体
crawling
都
in your body.
有一点痒的感觉，
So your
有一
body
点
is a
痒，
bit
但不是真正的痒哦，不是真正的
tingling,
痒，
it's
因
itching,
为
but
痒
not
哦
real
是
itch.
筋嘛，啊，我们要背呀，
Because with itch we want to scratch.
是很
But
蚂
say
蚁在走，
very
但是它给你感觉
like
很
ants
舒服
moving,
很舒
but
畅
it
的，
makes you
很
feel
麻
very
酥酥
good,
的那一种感觉，
kind of
就是第二样，
tingling sensation,
麻麻酥酥，
which is the second.
这是大乐的现象。
Tingling, this is a sign of great bliss.
正得了大乐的现象，就是说
So Lianhua Minglu experienced the great bliss
的光吸进去，
when he drew in the light of the light
这
body,
个中脉呀，在那边一直在震动，一直在
and
震动，
it
一直在
keeps
震动，有一股气在震动，
pulsing inside the central
中
channel,
脉里面走来走去，走来走去，
and it's
就有
moving
麻
up
麻
and down
酥
and
酥
up
的
and
感
down
觉，
inside the
这是一
central
种大
channel
乐的现象，
that generates
因为没有
the
办法形
tingling
容，
sensation.
所以
That's
称为麻麻酥酥。
some kind of sign of great bliss. It's hard to put into words. That's why we just call
都
it
很快乐，
kind of
心
tingling.
情很
You feel very
舒畅，
warm, very
觉得整个
happy,
宇宙都是美好。
very comfortable, relaxed, and you feel the whole universe is beautiful. You would
这个
experience
就
such
是方便气
sensations.
转成智慧气，
So this
你
is
只要气能够进
convenient
入
qi
中脉，
transforming into
就有
wisdom
这个
qi.
现象。
As long as the qi
这种
enters
麻
into
麻
the
酥
central
酥的
channel,
现
you
象
would
就是
experience
有
this kind
乐
of
第三，
sensations.
就是有乐
So this kind of
很
tingling
大的快乐，
sensation, it means
一
there's
整天
bliss.
不止的。
So there's a great
你第
bliss.
二天你在
Not just one
做
day.
平
On
气
the second
气入
day,
中脉，
when you
你
do the
照
treasure
样
race
第二
yoga
天
and let the
你
qi
都
enter
会
into
有。
the central channels, that on the
第
second
三
day
天
you
也
would
会有，第
experience
四
the
天也
great
会有，
bliss
第
too.
五天也会有，
And for the
每
third
天
day,
都有。
fourth day, fifth day, and every single day.
告诉大家，
So that's what I like to tell you, that Grandmaster experiences it every single day. So by having this is beyond everything else. All afflictions, worries are gone. All sufferings, miseries are gone. So slander is no big deal. All the bad mouthing and criticism, there's nothing compared to this. That's why I'm always happy. I'm always very relaxed and comfortable. Because every day you experience bliss. Even just the ordinary qi entering into the central channel, you would experience such sensations. And also feeling warmth and very tingling, very comfortable. You're kind of drowsy, but not really. And you feel like you want to you dance swan lake. I've learned this when I was young. I can show you a few stands. And Grandmaster feet too can stand on toes. Then turn. It's like you're hanging clothes on the clothesline. It's the Swan Lake. And in your heart you feel so, and you make offering this bliss to all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, to your own Yidam, your own root guru, and to all the Dakas, Dakinis, all the divinities, all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. This is the greatest offering. So what other offering would be greater than this? Food? That's outer homa. The real offering is from inside. When you experience the joy and the bliss, and you make the offering of the bliss to the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, to all the Dakinis and all divinities, to all the deities, this is the most secret offering. The secret most offering. That's called secret offerings. So outer offerings, that's homa. Inner offerings, that's when the qi moving in the central channel, generating bliss, that's called the secret offerings. And then the last, when you arrive at the Buddhahood, after you have attainments, the highest attainments, that's the topmost secret offering. So there are several kinds of offerings. So you make offering to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of what you experience, of what you feel or perceive. And this is the most precious offerings and the most real offerings. So Grandmaster often make offerings to the four guardians, Buddha mothers, the Dakinis of the 8 directions, and then the celestial goddesses of the 20 heavens, and then all the protectors of the heavenly realms, and then to all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and all deities. And this is the most precious offerings. the typical offerings for the Homa are just ordinary offerings. So when you turn the convenient qi into the wisdom qi, so do you know how to do tri-service yoga? You inhale a breath, and then you hold your breath, and then you do the divine water practice, combine it with the saliva, and then you swallow it, and then let the qi enter into the central channels, hold the breath, you lift up the anus, so you pull up the qi from below and push it down from above. That becomes the treasure vase. And when you hold the breath, the qi gradually, little by little, would enter into the central channels through the holes at the navel chakra area. Maybe it will not succeed at once, but if you do it every day, day after day, day after day, eventually you would experience the sensations of the qi entering into the central channel. So you need to be diligent. Diligence should accompany all spiritual cultivations. You should not practice this day and that another day and then another one. No, that's not good. But treasure vase, yoga, mantra chanting, the 9-cycle Buddha breathing, they're all interrelated. First, you do the 9-cycle Buddha breathing, the movement of the qi, that would be easy for you to enter into samadhi. And when you're single-pointed, concentrated, then you do the treasure vase yoga and do the mantra chanting, the Vajra chanting. Then the qi would enter into the central channel. Then you would experience great bliss. And then you would know how to make the topmost secret offering, the secret offerings. So you need to know to hold your breath or the qi. So tantric practitioners are also called a yogi or yogini. Like the puppet show. So why are we called a qi practitioner or the qi practitioner or yogi? So in Tantrayana it's called the practice of the breath. In Buddhism, but in Tantrayana it's called the treasure vase yoga. So you inhale the air or the qi and then you use it. You hold the breath. So the inner practice truly is holding the qi. So some people don't eat food, they eat air. I mean, they just take in the air. There are lots of nutrients in the air. So draw in the air and they don't need to eat. That's also a kind of kung fu or practice. So ASP in the cannibal tribe, what do they eat? Human beings. So the chief of the tribe asks, so what if they get sick and the doctor asks them to be vegetarian? What would they eat? They would eat the vegetarian person, which is like the person in coma. So you draw in the air or the qi and then use it. Then you would be a true qi practitioner or yogi, yogini. So yogi is also called the one who practices with qi. So if you truly know how to inhale and exhale, then you would know how to practice the qi and channels, practice light drops. And then in the future, the light drops would radiate light And when your whole body is filled with all light drop lights, then only then you would call the attainment of the rainbow light, that everything would turn into light. So the sensations of the mind are complete understanding of the 28 heavens and of every single day, complete understanding of the suffering of the 6 rebirth realms, and also gradual comprehension of the Dharma nature. The 28 heavens are the heavenly realms of desire, the realm of great bliss, the heavenly realm of form, which is the realm of light, and the heavenly realm of no form is the realm of the four emptiness. So the 28 heavens also based on the bliss, light, and emptiness. So first, the blissful realm of desire, and the light realm of form, and then the empty nature or empty heavenly realm of no form. So what is the key points or key formulas of treasure-based yoga? Most importantly is when you draw in the breath, immediately you lift up your anus and you push the upper chi and you swallow your saliva to push down. This is the fifth instruction. This is the key point. And then you hold it, most people, for 30 seconds. Maybe you can lengthen it to 1 minute. Or 1.5 hours. No, 1.5 minutes. And then 2 minutes. No, 1.5. Don't laugh. Maybe at the end, eventually, you can hibernate. You don't need to eat. You can fast for the whole winter and in meditation. At that time, you hold your breath. You can hold for a few hours. It's not impossible. So if you really have mastery in this, it would be incredible. Then you can stay alive even if you're buried. You can come back to life because in there something had happened that the guru practiced in meditation and the disciples thought he's passed away. So they buried the guru, and then when the guru got out from meditation, he found out that he was buried. Then what happened? So he climbed out, maybe. So when you have the sensations of the mind, then you could feel the 28 heavens every single day. And you have complete understanding of the suffering of the 6 liberal realms. And you have gradual comprehension of the Dharma nature. That's all for today. Om Mani Padme Hum.